Hey, people. All the years of the brainwash, the the snake bites its tail, and symbolizing time. The snake bites its tail, and the Egyptians say, "Hey, cut the head off the snake. Stop time." But even the snake's been watching this, and they got him so brainwashed, he'll bite his own tail even if you cut his head off. You can't stop time. I'm not a fan of killing snakes, but if I'm not willing to reach down there and pick it up, you're welcome to do what you will with it. In that last movie, I was showing you this word they forced happy on. It's nothing close to happy. And I found down here a little lower a couple of times where they scratched out the word beside it. And they'll tell you that, they scratched these names of gods and kings out. But I'm fixing to decode all this and tell you exactly what they were trying to hide. And it comes up twice lower like this. It comes up here scratched out after this word they say is happy. It's just not. And we're going to decode all this and see exactly what this says. And I'm going to prove to you that these ancient writers were speaking English. I'm going to read most of this the same way they do, and I'm going to add in the letters that they miss and the words that they're missing. But this also reads the second time, and it has marks to let you know when some of these words read backwards. But this they're giving happy here. This is of a sumer. This is the father's seed pouring out. It's a AV of, and then the first vowel A and three S's. A sumer. And so a myrrh, this is a MR, said to be a high place. And this is said to be flesh. It looks more like blood drops, to assume her, the flesh on the high place, the sacrifice. And to assume her matriarchs, the matriarchs, the matriarch, the top woman, the the mother, the patri and the matri. And the matrix center, the matrix center in natural, naked, in natural, night. And this comes after, is inlet has it per. They're leaving this per out, permission. Inlet has it permission of assumer, the matrix center, natural. Homes. This is a OMS. It's a ship at anchor. The sails down. It's homes. Mobile home. It homes. Purring a fast cat. The PR, and this is, they say it's a tra, but it's not. The tra have a dish on the bottom. This is RN, RNP, RNF. And so, the PR and then the R is going to give the next vowel the I, and the purring, the purring, the furry, the purrina's cat, purring fast cat. He's touching his mouth, that's the K, the call or the cull, or to eat, to a cull, something in and out of your mouth, the cull, the K. And the purring fast cat, and sets 'em a surf. They got this sets 'em is here, and they're leaving this out. And this is a ASR, so it's a ASRF, a surf wind. WN for the rabbit, when, and another N gives an I after it. When if summonum, when if summonum hath announced, it is he who hath announced, a surf, when if summonum pop in, to call him to pop in. And so sometimes, when you're summoning them up, you won't see this here. This is the up here. Represents a girl's legs. They'll say it's horns, but it's a girl's legs. And you'll see it in other places with this wren. You'll see what it means. So this is a royal, And a purring fast cat sets 'em a surfing, a surf when if summon 'em up. And I call up a surf and she be on the way. But it's also talking about a god with control over the water, the matriarch. And purring cat fast, the cat's excited, ready to attack. And purring fast cat sets 'em a surf, the winds on the water, a surf when if summon 'em, when summon if up. So this summon, it actually has another en down here you're not seeing, but the sm is the name in Hebrew, the name and to call them up, to summon, to name. And you can see it's the devil talking when he says, I will bring my hand upon them. And this is summel too. This is a SMLTA. And summel to arson, ARSN, and arson, to burn them up. And the summel to arson, I will bring my hand upon them. And this is coming up just before this next time this happy comes up with the name scratched out. So let's read on into it and give us a better idea of what that means. So you can use these letters. These come from this single mark here. You just have to add this to it. They're usually right. Often one letter difference. I check both books. This was Sumlet to arson, and then the 3 lines are starting this with a U, and so it's just a USAS, and to arson us as, and then read this IS, and the arson us as is let. We're the ones that set it afire, is what this said. I will bring my hand upon them and going forth. Summel to arson was as is let. Peer in. This is the ARI, and this is the A, and so the 2 A's make this E, peer. To peer in, to look in, and to peer in of. And analytics. The same as in the Hebrew, the Q, sometimes it's the K, and sometimes it's the F. And analytics, ANN, give it an E after 2 N's, A and an ELT. The legs are LT. The analytics. And rows R, and then the man, just the basic man, is the AS. And so the RAS is either the head in the Hebrew or to rise up. And the analytics rose, brought back the numbers. He came back to me immediately. He informed me concerning the analytics rose, and here was sat fast, FAS, and sat fast, quickly sat down, and so here, this is here, it's do with big old ears, hera, eros, erotic, hero, and so it's written like this because it can be read several different ways. What it's telling me, it's the only reason why they would write it like this, unless they was trying to hide something. But it's the HER and then first vowel point in the A. So it's 3 A's, which become a U, and here us, and then SAT, the sat fast, and here us sat fast, and quickly after it, the analytics rose, and here us sat fast. And so I believe this is the God's name that they were trying to scratch off here, the source of the Nile, concerning the source of the Nile. God was controlling the Nile, was their life. In Gardner's sign list, they'll give it a MHW, which is an M, and that could be anything. Could be a EU, just a U. And this book gives it the HA, and this one is real similar to it. They give the MEH. And this is real similar to Happy's hat. So that must be where that Happy's coming from. And you wonder where the word Brexit come from. It means the birds are too fat to fly, the Rexit. Like a big old fat pelican, a big fat plucked pelican. They can eat a fish their own weight. They just can't fly off after that. So the ha is probably correct, and we'll have to find this other symbol in a place to check its reading. But it probably means the same thing just by putting the M alone out here, the M ha. And so this is where your word M-E come from. The M-E amort. The M-E amort, of death, M-R-T, amort, M-E winner. Analytics arose, and here was sat. He's sitting waiting for his Emmy. And here was sat. Sat phasm, like a phantasm. And here was sat phasm, full of attention. They got this as of asm 8, hate, or 8 would be the source where it feeds it. And the miyam, the M-E-I-I-M-R-T. The miyam is the waters in the Hebrew. But happy, he was also a happy, H-A-F-Y, a happy. He was a mayam. Analytics rose, eros at, face mayam writ, of assumer and scratched out. And I'm sure it's a word finishing over here with this HT, hatched. Hatched, the shunned, SCH, the school, the scholar, diploma, and SCH, and then the third vowel, UN, the shun in, the shun ban, the shun in on. That's where your word ban come from, in on. On is written, and that's what he's talking about here. He made me come back to me immediately. He informed me concerning the source of the Nile, and concerning these things which were written, are they therein he revealed to me in the chapters hidden. So he's revealing the hiddens that my ancestors took their way to them and not existed their seconds with any king since. And so best chances are this was ending with the D-I, addiction. But the Yama and the Yami, there's the ancient god of the water everywhere. And so it looks like it's the diction, the meaning of the words. And so it possibly had the happy symbol here. And Mayum writ of Assum, of ass them, of ass is behind. And also, the Vassum is what you left behind, for and a bath. And so it's possibly, happy is in here with this spelling here, or possibly with the spelling of mech. But this is the H, the chet, the A, the P, the F, and the second vowel, the I or the E. I say E often, but it means, to re-up the second time. It's spelt with an I, and we've switched it to an E in most words. And so if you put happy in here, it would be the Depiction ban. And that would be a word for dictionary back when it was all pictures, the Depiction. And satphasm, to fathom, to think about, to phasm, hyumrit, of assum, rich depiction ban. The assum rich depiction ban. They're not giving them a visual dictionary to go with these letters here. And that's why they fit happy right in here in the ass, some rich depictions. The depictions concerning all the things which are written. And so best chances are that's what was here, was happy spelled out. And the rich depiction bands, B-A-N, this is the N-B, the N's going with the depiction, and the B's going here with the A-N, the bands, B-A-N-S, the bands in Y-W-I, meaning how or who, and bands in who make fun-a-roo, fun-a-roo. He revealed to me the chapters hidden. Fa fa fun a ruum in. This is the Q here. And I'm giving it with this M, Y, W-Y is how or who, M-Q, to make in F-A. This is F-A here. And this is a F-A by itself. And this is a F. And then N, first vowel A. Fa, fa, fun, ru, R-U. You can see it over here on Wikipedia, Garner's sign list. They give it a PH. And here they give it a PEH. But, it's also the ass end. It's the dino. And this funaroo, it's talk about the same thing as talk about in the Hebrew Bible. The forbidden fruit. The funaroo. And so if you replace this with the DINO, then it's to make the fad, F-A-D, the fad, N-O-F. To make the fad in of narrow, the neurotic, the narrow in. And I'm not sure about this in, but I know, this reads with the AS first. And the narrow asm in. Of top, TP, of top, and then AA, E. Of top he's, and with let, WTH. And LT with let. And they say this means the high, H-I, H-U-I, in the high, abbreviation for power. And then this is the N-I, and with let, Heine. And so the Book of the Dead is the same as the Hebrew Bible. It's talking about the same stuff. The same people tried to hide it. It's just that they twisted different words. And this is helping a lot to understand the Hebrew better. And so this next time it comes up, they seem to think that it was the boat and the S behind here. I don't know if it was enough left they could tell it, or they found other writings of the same and assumed that's what it was. But it's a good chance that's what it is. And you see it's reading the same as the Hebrew. There's seconds with any king since the creation of time is M, them. M it's X T S and them it's as was, AS, and then he's holding the was scepter, the WAS as was, and M it's has was territory. This is territory, and this is a TR here, and then this is a R, so the two R's give it the I, the terry. And this, they just say it's a road here. The high road, a roadway with shrubs. The territory of the high rectum. And here they'll give it the her or what or matin. And so this word, the high, it most likely means eye. He's holding a stick out and he's looking at it, to eye it, to examine, to eye, EY. It probably just gets replaced with this her, the higher writ, and two R's, R-I-T, the higher ritum, ask, A-S-K with the mouth. Or maybe the creation of time, is the high what, the high water time. Them it's has was terry. The high water time ass. And this to me here tells me this position is a U, the ASU. He spake was the high water time to ask fun as Sue, as to as Sunni, S-U-U-N-N-N-Y, as the Sunni, that's the whores in the Hebrew. There is a town in the midst of the stream, in the Sunni. And the Sunni knew to her love. And so this is either LB or IB. They're hard to tell the difference. But a town in the midst, is them here love. Everybody loves their town. Them here love or them hereof. And you see they got 7 letters written here and they only come up with 4 to cover it. You know they're missing something. But this NU at the end is these 3 N's are an NU. And this EN is just this top N up here. And so they're skipping these 3. And they'll say here that you can replace it with a STP, and it means the chosen. And so what's going on in this town in the midst of the stream is, is them here love in STFNA, and loving stuff in loving stuff in on a spiralet of ass. A spiralet is a small spire. And this tells me why they remove this, because in this town, the midst of them, they were loving stuffing on a spiralet of ass some ram, SUMRAM, some rams. You got a town full of homos over there. And so Happy is a ass rammer. He's a halfie. They say it was the gout of dowsing, and this was dowsing rods on his head. But it pretty much shows here, he's got the anointing oils. He's bringing the tray of tools for insertion. And it says here that Titan is powerful. And the Titan Happy. And I think Happy, in the Greek it says that the serpent was the friendliest creature in the garden. He was, Happy was in the garden. And it says here that Titan, TTAN, the Titan. And the Titan Happy, renew. And here it's the tight ridden, the tight riding, come of it too, the sun in, SNB, the sun in. And they'll say this alligator is Sebek, but I believe this K is the CH, the bitch, because that's what it says in the Hebrew, is the bitch that gets on the sacrifice table. And so is the bitch, is the one going on the sacrifice table. The son of his bitch. The Titan Happam renew, tight riding, coveted, to son of his bitch. So I feel pretty confident that I just replaced these missing letters and proved my case that ancient Egyptians from the oldest, from the first dynasty, they spoke and wrote English. And you'll even find it in here somewhere. And I believe I'm going to go up and start reading the top of this. I found something really interesting here about this man here, the upright man. But it says right off in here somewhere, the Brit. The same as the covenant in the Hebrew. It's in the Brit. And so Happy was the first ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's ancient Egyptian word coming from may, meaning an illusion, a phantom. It's just an illusion. She's not really a woman. Happy was the permission of ass. And Happy's also, was set face, the mayum writ of asum rich piction bands in. So this is surely where your word fiction comes from, the fiction bands in. And I also run into the word history down there. I find out where that comes from. But I believe I'm going to have to spend that $8.79 on this book and get those pages that I'm missing. But I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.